Hi players, bonjour from Paris. My name is Asaf and welcome to my channel Easy Board Games. Today I'm going to have some sort of a unique review and a little bit talking about a difficult and complicated board games, and specifically I'm talking about this beast to my right that is called Europa Universalis. When I browsed through a Kickstarter, I came across Europa Universalis. I think it was about a year ago, if I'm not mistaken, something like that. And obviously the campaign was already finished. So I just waited patiently for the game to arrive, the different backers, and I found a second-hand copy for, I think it was about 220, 230 euros for the deluxe version of Europa. I have a problem, I gotta be honest with you, because usually when I see a game on Kickstarter or something that I kind of think that I'm going to like, I watch the trailer video that you have on the Kickstarter page, then I'm looking at some photos and I'm like, okay, that seems to be a cool game, I think that I'm going to get it. This is my fault, I'm going to take this one on me. I didn't invest at all time in watching some playthroughs or how to play or some videos about this game on Tabletop Simulator or whatever. It just looked good for me and I thought that I should take it. So before moving on, let me show you a little bit what is Europa Universalis is all about. So Europa Universalis, at least how it was described by the creators, is a 4X game that takes place in some period about the 15th century or something like that, medieval times in Europe and a little bit beyond as well. So basically in every game you're going to choose one of the scenarios that you have in this booklet and you're going to install the game. So you have here the introductory scenario and then some other scenarios, and you have here some more complicated, less complicated for more players or less players. Now this is kind of a hybrid between an introductory game and a little bit more advanced one. We have here something like 3 countries, although at those times we didn't have really countries as we know them today. That only came later at 1648, but just to make things a little bit simpler, we have here 3 countries. You can see here Castile, France, and England. So in your turn you're going to take different actions, from military actions, diplomatic or administrative actions. Some of it will be trade, and that depends where you have some of your merchants and your ships, your cities, of course. Military actions will be, of course, to fight another army or another NPR, a different city-state. You'll be able to recruit ships. Also, you'll be able to do different things like hire advisors. And really, this game is a little bit too much for me to be able to show you everything. Even now, and I think that I've put my camera in the highest position possible, even now you cannot see everything that is going on the table. So you can see pretty much the map itself, but I think that you cannot even see what I have over here, the player board of Castile. You can see a little bit of France, and I think, I'm not sure, you can see a little bit of the board of England on the other side. Why I'm saying it's a hybrid between like introductory game and a more advanced game, because usually in this kind of game I should have had the Holy Roman Empire, but that is another thing of its own, and it was a little bit too complex for me to understand, but we'll get to it soon enough. Over here you have some cards that you will be able to research new ideas, or after that new technology. You will be able to accomplish different things, different missions. And really I'm doing no justice to this game by explaining it like this, because this game is absolutely massive. Now, something doesn't feel right here, right? Because I'm starting the video like I'm saying that I'm quitting this game, but I'm talking about it like it's something amazing. So that is what I thought. I mean, looking at the table, this must be a game that is right up my alley, right? It has here everything that I like: armies and complex and depth and so many things that I really supposed to love. Now, Europa Universalis Price of Power is based, of course, this is an implementation of the video game Europa Universalis, which I've never played. Let's put a pin on that and come back to that later. And so again, when I saw this game, I thought to myself, all right, I think I'm just going to get it. So I've waited until it reached to other backers. I got it. Then I saw the massiveness of the box and I'm like, oh, I'm going to have so much fun with it. And then I opened the box. And in the box, I've had a few booklets of different rules. Let me show you how does it go. So this is the first thing that you're seeing. Basically, this is the rules of the game. We're talking about, let me see how many pages over here we have. We have 47 pages, and I'm not talking to you about many photos that we have over here. This is something that right from the beginning, it's starting, and guys, this is kind of heavy, okay? This is just text upon text upon text of things that you will be able to do in this game, about restrictions, about conditions, about whatever. So this is just the rulebook itself. Then of course you have the mission booklet itself. So it's this one right over here. This is only one of them because we have another one like this. Now when you open the mission booklet, they're basically telling you how to set up each scenario. Now, when you want to set up the scenarios, you need to choose specific cards for the scenario that you have started. So I'm talking to you about look for cards 14-1 and then 250B, and then whatever. You have about 20 cards like this that you need to look for in the different decks of the different ages. In this game, you can play from first, second, third, and up to fourth age if you really have a year to spare. So all of these cards that are numbered over here is something that you need to look in the bigger deck of cards that you receive with the game, and you're going to build your scenario. And I'm talking to you about, I think it took me, and I'm not exaggerating, an hour and a half, if not 2 hours, just to get the game, because each time the different factions, let's call it like that, are going to start with different cards in different locations, with different things, and it's kind of long, okay? This is the second rulebook that you're receiving. Then, if you didn't find enough people that are willing to invest a whole day, and that is maybe for the smallest mission, then you might want to play, let's say, solo, or you want to add some bots. All right, we've had that with many other games, right? Only behind me, I think that I have a Hellenica that has bots. That's the first game that comes to mind, but you have really other Automa and different bots and things that you can add to the game in order to increase the number of players that you have around the table, which is something that I super appreciate in a game in general. I think that is great. And then I saw the rulebook itself of the bot and all the flowcharts. Flowcharts? Yep, flowcharts. Over here you can see another rules, another booklet of solo and bot. And you're thinking, okay, I mean, you do need to understand how to play this game, right? And I'm like, yeah, so let's see what's going on over here. And you're just receiving more information, more dense information. And then basically they're telling you, all right, at the bot's turn, you're going to start with this one, which is something that is relatively okay, right? I mean, start, and this is basically a flowchart of like a yes-no question to understand what's going on. So let's say, for example, that someone attacked a bot, you're going to go over here, the answer is going to be no, go over to the second one, the answer is yes, then go to the flowchart that says defend. You're right, okay, let's move on and see what's going on. And then you have another flowchart. And as you can see over here, this is the defend. So now you need to start understanding. And I can tell you that even though this is kind of a yes-no questions, oh my God, this is so complicated, okay? I cannot explain to you, at least for me, how complicated these flowcharts are. And it's not only this for the defense, because for everything that you're having over here, you will need to go to a different flowcharts. So this is another one, and another one, and another one, and for every, this is, tell me that when you're seeing this, you're not thinking, wow, this is a little bit too much. I'm sorry, maybe for the reflection of the light, you cannot see it, but hopefully now it's going to be a little bit better. And then if it's not enough yet, then at the second part of the scenario booklet, I don't know why they put it over there, but you're going to have more things. And now each faction has their own bot that you will need to adjust their own cards according to the right age. And this is again something that you will need to resolve. This is, yeah, so this is what I've been dealing with. So at the first time that I'm opening the game, I'm like, okay, this is a complex game. Asaf, we've been through it before. you have seen complicated games, don't worry. I mean, if the rulebooks are not the best, something that I've seen before, maybe PAX Renaissance, for example, then just go watch some YouTube videos, right? Try to understand how does it go with the game and go back to the table. Everything will be okay. We've been through it before. So I'm going to YouTube and I've seen, I think, 10 hours for sure, because there's a video of 10 and a half hours of like playthrough of this game. I've seen all of it. And then I've seen some other videos, like shorter ones from I think the designer or one of the creators of the game. I've seen it also. And then I'm thinking, you know what, maybe it's not as complicated as I thought it will be. So going back to the table, I mean, the game is still over there. It's only the second week after I've done a setup. Everything is okay. And I'm trying literally to imitate whatever the guy on YouTube did. And I'm like, okay, this I understand. I'm going to do this, and then I have call to arms. The allies are going to send, because they're adjacent to me or to this. They can send only half of the tax power that they... Okay, I think I got it, but hold on, I have a question over here. Good luck. Good luck finding it in the rules. Because every time that the index is showing to you something, then it's not fully explained, and then you need to actually look for it in another part of the rulebook. And guys, you know that usually reviews, I'm starting with talking about setup and the rulebooks, and I think that is pretty much what I'm going to talk about here in this review, because I couldn't play this game. Now, as you can see right now on your screen, the difficulty of the game in BGG is, if I'm not mistaken, from memory, 4.66. So this is, we fairly agree that this game is considered to be complicated. But when I'm looking at PAX Renaissance 2nd edition, I see that the difficulty is ranked as 4.62. So a little bit less complicated, if we can say it like that, but we still agree that is pretty much the same. And Voidfall is ranked 4.61. And I'm thinking, hold on, because Voidfall I've kind of understood good from the beginning, from the get-go. I mean, the rulebook there is amazing, and they're giving you like a tutorial scenario. And PAX Renaissance, yeah, I had more difficulty, but hey, I did a video of how to play this game, or explanatory playthrough or whatever. So I've kind of cracked it. And even games like John Company, the 2nd edition, I'm like, okay, this is a challenge, I'm going to do it. And John Company is probably my longest video that I have in this channel, but it was manageable. So I'm asking, what is going on with Europa Universalis? How come you've made a game that is so complicated, that is just basically supposed to be off the charts? There is no way that Voidfall is 4.61 and PAX Renaissance 2nd edition is 4.62 and then this one is 4.66. You're basically telling me that their difficulty is pretty much the same, which is absolutely not the case. So for me, and I'm willing to admit, I'm not the smartest guy in the universe, okay? Far from it. But I've kind of have like the experience with heavy board games. I mean, I almost exclusively play like board games on the heavier side. So what's going on with this one? How come it doesn't go inside my head? I was super frustrated with this game. I felt like an idiot. Luckily, after one of the posts that I've put on Facebook, someone told me, hey, we have a Discord, which is something that is relatively new to me. I'm going into their Discord, and the community there, super nice. People are understanding that the game is difficult, and I started to play on Tabletop Simulator. So already, and even in 30 minutes, I'm going to start another session of Europa Universalis. And I've already played, I think, 2 sessions, so that means at least 8 hours of playing Tabletop Simulator of Europa Universalis, one of the introductory games. Okay, this is not even supposed to be a complex game. So after I played 8 hours and watched so much content on YouTube, and I think that I invested in total about 80 hours of learning this game, yesterday when I set it up on the table for giving it one last chance with a friend and a bot, and nothing. Just every few seconds, not even a few minutes, I need to go back to the rulebook because something here is not enough streamlined. So the community is amazing, but still, I understood when I tried to play yesterday that I had kind of fun, or I'm like starting to get this game because there was someone there, Thomas, thank you very much, that narrated this game for us. So I'm going to do this move. You cannot do really this move because you have this and this and this and this and this. Oh, okay, so I think I'm just going to do this. Yes, you can, but the thing is that 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, you know what? I'm just going to trade, and hopefully I'll draw one of the cards that will give me money. And this game is more and more seems like a simulator than actually a board game, and I found myself in the downtime just looking at my phone, and things were just a catastrophe. So I'm thinking, if after 80 hours of investing in learning a game, how come it's just not going inside? Okay, so we already established that's my fault, probably because I didn't see what this game was all about before getting it. Second fault is because I'm not a smart guy, but I think that after we're acknowledging this, I think that I can a little bit talk about the creators of this game and the people who wrote the rulebook. Now, I appreciate tremendously people who are playing a good video game and saying, you know what, I want to take this and I want to make from it a board game. This is amazing. This is the same set of mind that brought us Company of Heroes and Fallout, if you're into it, or whatever video game, StarCraft, whatever video game that you can think about, I don't know, that is now a board game. This is the same mindset of people like, I love this video game, let's make from it a board game. So what's so different? Is it because I didn't play Europa Universalis on PC, then I cannot understand what's going on now on the table? If yes, if this game was made only for the fans of the video game, can you like put a small star and saying like, hey, if you haven't played the video game, probably this game is not for you, or take in consideration that it will take you a tremendous amount of time to learn this game and probably you cannot do it on your own. Wow, Asaf, this is quite a statement, right? You cannot learn it alone. I mean, there are people who learn this game. I'm like, yeah, there are. I'm not saying no. But what is the percentage of people who actually learn this game? And through Discord, okay, I've met other people that they just not sure how to play. So that made me kind of feel a little bit better, you know, if that makes any kind of sense, that I'm not alone out there. And I started talking to people like, hey, do you like this game? Like, oh my God, this game is amazing, na na na. And when you're playing this game, how often you go to the rulebook? Oh, probably every few minutes. Every few minutes you go to the rulebook and this game is amazing for you? What happened to like learning the game and go from time to time to the glossary, Voidfall, to just remember or just understand what's going on in that specific case or with that specific card? Every few minutes you need to go to the rulebook just to make sure that you didn't do any kind of mistake? I find it 180 degrees from something that is streamlined. So you decided to take a video game and make from it a board game? Okay, then make sure that you understand that there is no PC behind me that is going to calculate whatever is going to happen and going to autocorrect me or whatever when I want to do a mistake. Like, okay, I'm going to move this soldier from here to here. You're out of movement or whatever. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. A few days ago also I played Heroes of Might and Magic 3 on TTS. Brian, again, thank you very much for the teach. And yeah, I'm a fan of Heroes of Might and Magic, and of course it was like, oh, in the board game it goes like this. It's too bad. Oh, there's only crystals. It's a little bit too bad there's no like gems and sulfur and mercury. And then Brian from Bad Crow Games told me, hey, listen, you cannot do everything, okay? Think about it from the designer point of view, okay? This is going to be a nightmare. And then later the players are not going to enjoy. No, you have this resource, and this is a board game, and it captures pretty much the essence of the video game, which is like nostalgia. This is a big part of my childhood. And you know what? I totally agree with him. That is the same, like, I don't need to know Company of Heroes PC game in order to enjoy the board game or in order to understand it. The same for Darkest Dungeon. Sorry for all the backers that supported this. I truly am sorry, but you don't need to know or to love or to be so invested in the PC game in order to understand how to play Darkest Dungeon. The same with the StarCraft, the same with Northgard, the same with Frostpunk, the same with This War of Mine. Why? Because they've taken the idea, the essence of a game, they simplified it in order to bring it to the table, even if it comes on account of a few things in the PC game, but it's normal. It's a freaking board game. And when you buy a board game, an expensive board game, because again, I'm an idiot, so even before learning this game, I bought the extra set of bots, the metal pieces, you know, I know it's my fault and it's my problem, and this is a good lesson for me. But when you're investing almost 300 euros in a game, and I understand that if I would have backed the Kickstarter, it would have been less than, let's say, you know what, 200 euros. You're investing 200 euros in a game that is pretty much unplayable. Unplayable. Do you want to tell me, and now let's talk about bigger things, about different complicated games, okay, with bad rulebooks. You want to tell me that you've given this game to blind test and it came out like, yeah, you're good to go, everything is understandable. So I'm addressing now the different publishers, okay, the different designers. Guys, blind playtesting, okay, is not giving this game to your friends and family, be in the same room and immediately answer any kind of question. No, I'm sorry, for me this is not blind playtesting. Blind playtesting is giving this game to a random group of people and saying, all right, then you have a good time now. If you want to tell me that the people who create complicated, messed up rulebook games did blind playtesting and everything came back A-okay and it's just me who is the idiot, all right, fine, I'll accept it. But I'm playing board games every single day. I'm playing heavy board games. Yes, sometimes it's more difficult, sometimes it's more complicated, sometimes you really need to sit down and see how the rules, sometimes you need to go watch a video on YouTube, sometimes, okay, but at the end it comes, okay, at the end you manage to understand what's going on. I don't think that this game was enough blind tested by random people that you can say, yeah, the rulebooks are like this. And you know what? I don't think even that I'm going to point the finger towards David Turczi that did the solo mode for it. He might be known as sometimes maybe overcomplicate things. I don't know. I totally appreciate the work that he did with Nigel Buckle for Voidfall. I totally appreciate the work that he did with Adam Kwapinski for Dark Ages. This guy has enough games that I love their solo mode. Tricarion, of course. But I don't think that he had much choice over there because the game was so overcomplicated from the beginning. So bravo, you managed to catch more of the essence of the board. You managed to bring a PC game to the table. Who is going to play it now? So again, you might sit over there and say, you know what, it's just not for you. You know, it was not made for you. It's not a game that you should play. And I'm like, I would have liked to receive a fair warning before, and again, it's my fault. I should have read the rules before, but I just think that there is a little bit, really just a little bit of responsibility on the people who are writing these rulebooks, on the designers, saying like, we went over our heads. I don't think that I'll be able to play this board game. This is why it's going to go out from my collection. I'm selling it or whatever. This is not going to stay with me. I'm not saying when, you know, there is like the gun effect, you know, when you're pointing at someone and blaming, it's like they have one finger towards them, but there are three towards you. So I'm not the smartest guy. I didn't read the rulebooks before, and I didn't really see how this game plays before I bought it. That is on me. But now, can you please make a better rulebook? You don't want to make a better rulebook? Then I expect of you to do a 20-hour video or videos or a series that explains everything down to the last detail, that just other people will be able to learn this game. Otherwise, who is going to play this game? Every single person, you know what? Yeah, even the person who is narrating this game when I'm playing on TTS, I'm pointing over there just because that's where my computer, so I'm sorry about that. But even the person that is like narrating the game, it's like at some point I hear a conversation between him and another guy that knows the game really well, and one of them is saying like, oh, you're playing like this? Because we're playing differently. And the other one, like the first guy is saying like, yeah, this is how we play. I think it's somewhere in the rulebook. The second guy, yeah? Because I know the rules differently. But to be honest, in any case, I can't find it in the rulebook. So even the top experts are like, yeah, I think it's like this, let's let it roll. And I've kind of understand that, because you want to make a game that is streamlined, that is flowing, that you don't need every second go back to the rulebook to understand if you did something good or bad. And I don't think it's too much to ask. And I think, and it's not only about Europa Universalis, I think it's about every game that is out there with a terrible rulebook. Please blind test it, see what is the feedback that is going back. Not possible that you've blind tested this thing so many times and every time it came just like, yep. No, I'm sorry. I refuse to accept it. And this goes to all the designers, publishers, whatever. Blind test more and change things. Make it, I'll be like Michael Scott, okay? Explain it to me like I'm 5 years old. All right, just I need to understand how to play. You want to have a complicated game? Perfect. Can you please do like another rule book for like a basic game and then a second one with like more things? And no, I'm not talking about the 0-00 introductory mission, whatever, because, for example, it doesn't have the Holy Roman Empire, which is a completely another thing in this game that is again complicated. I mean, Company of Heroes did it, right? You have the basic rules. I mean, first edition, in second edition, they have it also. Basic game, you're comfortable, you've played enough. Let me introduce you to the full game. Voidfall did it with an amazing tutorial mission. They're like, you know what? Read until here, go play. When you finish, come back, continue reading. Well, okay, well, what do you want to tell me? That Voidfall is like nothing? It's checkers? It's a complicated game as well. Maybe not as Europa Universalis that needs to have its own title out there, but never from all the games that I have in my collection or games that I've played and went out from a collection, I've never came across a game that I'm like, you know what, I give up, I don't know what to do. So, to conclude everything that we've been over here, I take the responsibility. This is absolutely my fault. It's my fault. But on the other hand, like just maybe a little bit the fault of the publishers or designer or like the people who wrote the rulebook a little bit. Can you do something? And then of course, a few days ago, I'm sorry. Yeah, we're going to have an expansion for Europa Universalis. You're taking this game and you're expanding it. You're making it bigger. You're adding more things. How about not expanding it for now? Just make it playable. I think it's better. If I will be able to play Europa Universalis, then this is clearly on the surface a game that I should enjoy. I want to enjoy. I want to love this game. I want to. I know that there is a great game in there. I know it. I feel it in my bones. I just can't go through it. Whew. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. What do you think about what is the most complicated game that you ever tried to play? What is a game that you tried to play and just abandon it after reading the rules or trying to watch content on the internet and it was just like too much for you? Let me know. Let's open a discussion about it. Take care, and I'll see you next time.